Welcome back. It's Couch Report, and it's time to take a look at Giant Size House of M, part 4 of 5 one-shots celebrating Giant Size X-Men's 50th anniversary. And that's what's going to happen right now. I'm going to dive straight in. I'm going to go through it page by page and give you my thoughts. So please read the book beforehand if you don't want it spoiled. Like the video if you like the video, and hit subscribe if you can. I'd really appreciate it. So this, like I say, is the 4th part. So there's Giant Size X-Men, Giant Size Dark Phoenix Saga, Giant Size Age of Apocalypse, Giant Size House of M, and this will all culminate and end in Giant Size X-Men number 2. Now, this was to celebrate, the legacy of one of the most amazing books published by Marvel, and it has fallen flat in my opinion. It is basically part 4 of Giant Size Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. We want you to love Miss Marvel, Miss Marvel, Miss Marvel, Miss Marvel, and she travels through the various mega events throughout Marvel's history, chasing Legion. He is a very, very powerful mutant hive mind, the son of Charles Xavier, except that part of him that was Charles Xavier's son has left, and it is this remaining Legion of souls. And they are looking to reconnect with David Heller, the missing part. Now, for some reason, that involves going through all these major events, and it somehow involves Kamala Khan and some new powers that she's manifested. It is all very convoluted. It's all very badly written. And this 4th part, I'm sorry, is no exception. So we start yet again. We are beamed from Age of Apocalypse to House of M. Now, if you aren't familiar with House of M was a huge event back in 2005. It's a huge crossover written by Brian Michael Bendis and art by Oliver Copiel. Now, it's set on Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, whose reality warping powers reshape the Marvel Universe in a way that makes her happy. She dreams children, her own children, into being. Now, she suffered this mental breakdown due to the loss of these children and from manipulation from her brother Pietro. Now, she's created this alternate reality where mutants led by her father Magneto and his House of M are now ruling the world, and humans are marginalized. Now, key heroes like Wolverine, Spider-Man, the Avengers, with all their altered lives, are living in this new world, and they uncover the truth through fragmented memories and the efforts of a young mutant called Lila Miller. They confront Wanda, which leads to this infamous declaration, "No more mutants," which decimates the mutant population, removing the powers from all but 198 mutants, leading into Marvel's Decimation event. Now, this Decimation event is obviously what happens next now as things get back to normal. So this is where we are. This is where we are. So Legion is looking for the Scarlet Witch, of course. He believes she can help him obtain this goal, which is just becoming more and more convoluted as the book goes on. So Kamala reappears in this new reality. I'm guessing at one of Xavier's schools or some middle school in Cincinnati. Here we go. And this is the dialogue. The dialogue is just so bad. It's like Gen Z threw up on their keyboard, right? And then put it into speech bubbles. It's so badly written. I'm not even going to go through some of the jokes that are made throughout it. It is horribly, horribly written. And the story, like I say, is just even more convoluted. Anyway, she's at this school. Kitty Pryde's a teacher. They're talking about the House of Magnus. She bursts in the room and says, this is what's happened in the last 4 issues of Kamala Khan Giant Size. And she's like, well, come outside with me. We're going to get someone to talk to you about this, because you're either nuts or, you're some kind of precog, right? Because we now live in a world where, mutants are the sort of like the majority. They're majority, right? So it wouldn't be unlikely that a mutant could have that kind of, power. So while she's there, the aforementioned Lila, what's her name again? Oh, I've just slipped my brain because this is such a bad story. Lila Miller turns up with Wolverine wearing a snazzy jacket, and she's like, "Hey, I'm here to help." And then Kitty Pryde faints, and then they just fly off in a Quinjet off to see some kind of council. Right? And she's saying, "Listen, here's my story," and to add insult to injury. You're living an alternate reality that shouldn't be real. There's also this guy called Legion causing a ruckus, so we need to defeat him, otherwise everything is going to go bad. And then we get this little moment where she talks to Kitty Pryde, and this young mutant talking to a much older mutant gives her this pep talk, which is way beyond her years, to get Kitty Pryde back in the fight. And then we jump to Legion, who's attacking Magnus's castle, old Magneto. And again, terrible dialogue, jokes that fall flat, a non-story. I just honestly I'm losing the will to live as I even give the review. So he attacks Scarlet Witch. He makes the children vanish, these fake children. She says, listen, you know, I'll die trying, but you're not going to beat my father. And he says, well, your father is preoccupied now because all those other mutants that are coming to get me, they're going to be fighting Magnus. So Kamala, ever to the rescue. She does some tomfoolery again, just in the last moments as Legion and Wanda utter those infamous words, no more mutants, and we are thrust into decimation. All right. And then again, very boring story, you know, ensues. Like, oh God, what's happened? It's the, you know, the mutant powers have vanished. They sort of vanish and sort of appear in a postman, if I remember rightly from all those years ago, but I might have that wrong. They discover there's only 198 mutants left on Earth. They also discover that the history of this, all this power that's been removed from the mutants didn't land where it's supposed to land, in this postman, but it's actually gone into Legion himself. So Kitty Pryde has another moment where she gets another pep talk from Kamala Khan, the voice of reason, again, way beyond her years. And they all decide that something needs to be done. So they have this war room, and she's very careful, or trying to be very careful, what she can and can't say. She doesn't break the space-time continuum and all that jazz. And they decide they have no choice but go back to the future. Yeah, that's how that joke landed with me. And then we end up with Giant Size X-Men #2, which comes out next month and ends this absolute travesty of a 5-part celebration of one of the greatest X-Men books ever written. So, as you could tell by my demeanor, this was terrible in every single way. The art did its best to save a poor story, but honestly, this story cannot be saved. I don't know why this is here. I don't know what it's meant to do. And if everything is going to go just back to normal in the first place, then all it's been is a 5-issue vehicle to cash in on the legacy of Giant Size X-Men and propel Kamala Khan into your brains so that you buy whatever books they've got planned for her coming out. So this was not a good, fun story. Now, there is a backup story by Saladin Ahmed and Martin Coccolo in it. Now, Martin Coccolo's art is forever beautiful. I'm not a big fan of Saladin Ahmed, so I'm going to read that another day, because honestly, once you've read the main story, you're closing the book. You're closing the book. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So those are my thoughts. I'm going to get downvoted to hell, but I promised I would always be honest with my reviews. Okay. And there we have it. Let me know yours in the comments. I'll gladly discuss why you think I'm wrong. Okay. I'm happy to do that. But until next time, read more comic books and stay safe. Safe from Giant Size Kamala Khan.